Hi everybody. Today is July 18th, 2019. We are in a Tithi Dvitya, which means the day is being ruled by Ashwini, as well as having Chandra energy. And today we are going to talk about Vrishabha or Aquarius ascendants and the bhava effects for these natives. We will be using Horashastra according to Sage Parashara. And so folks, I do like to go over which nakshatras Vrishabha means. So that means it's going to cover Pad 2 through 4 of Kritika. It is going to cover the entire nakshatra of Rohini, as well as the first 2 pads of Mrigashira. So folks, let's jump right in to the bhava effects for our Vrishabha or Vrishabha lagna. And so folks, you will have a number 2 in the first house, and that'll be another indicator that you are a Vrishabha or Vrishabha ascendant. And so the effects of the second lord in the first bhava, the native will be endowed with sons and wealth, be inimical to his family, lustful, hard-hearted, and will do others' jobs. And so folks, moving over to the third lord in the second bhava, the native will be corpulent, devoid of valor, will not make much efforts, be not happy, and will have an eye on others' wives and others' wealth. Now, folks, I know that these, first 2 dispositions, aren't sounding, very like something to boast about. But you know what? These are ancient dispositions that were carefully calculated, carefully done by our sage Parashara. And so it is a blueprint of how these lords will behave for this particular native in that house. So it is not, you have to take the entire chart into consideration. It's not going to be just, it's like this. No, I mean, yeah, it could be like that. It could very well be like that, because that's how the lords behave in these houses. But everything has to be taken into consideration. So we have to see what's going on in the entire chart itself in totality. So let's move forward here with the fourth lord in the third bhava. The native will be valorous, will have servants, be liberal, virtuous, and charitable, and will possess self-earned wealth. He will be free from diseases. And so, for this native, for our Vrishabha or Vrishabha, the fifth lord will behave in the fourth bhava. The native will be happy, endowed with maternal happiness, wealth, and intelligence, and be a king, or a minister, or a preceptor. And the sixth lord in the fifth bhava, The native will have fluctuating finances. He will incur enmity with his sons and friends. He will be happy, selfish, and kind. And moving for a seventh bhava in this seventh lord in the sixth bhava. The native will beget a sickly wife, and he will be inimical to her. He will be given to anger and be devoid of happiness. And moving for an eighth lord in the seventh bhava. The native will have 2 wives. If Rander's lord, which is the eighth lord, is Yuti with a malefic in the Yavati bhava, and the Yavati bhava is this bhava that we're talking about right now. It's the seventh bhava. There will surely be a downfall in his business. So let me explain that to you folks again for you that do not understand what those words mean, because they are definitely not used often today. So, and you can rewind, pause, write things down as you like, just to get your bearings here. So if Rander's lord, now Rander is going to be the eighth house. So who's in the eighth house? It's going to be Mars. Mars is the lord of the eighth house. So if Mars is in a conjunction with a malefic in this seventh house, there will surely be a downfall in his business. So it has to be happening, number 1, in the seventh house, because we're talking about the Yavati bhava. So, I mean, Sage Parashara specifically says the Yavati bhava. So, if Rander's lord, again, which is so Rander is going to be the eighth. So the eighth lord, the eighth house lord is Mars. So if Mars, or Mongol for you folks, so if Mars is in a conjunction with another malefic in this seventh house, there will surely be a downfall in his business. So it's 2 things. It has to be a malefic, or it has to be a malefic yuti, a malefic conjunction inside this seventh house. It can't be coming from somewhere else. It has to be in the seventh house. So if you have Mars in that seventh house, let's see. Yeah. So it has to be, Mars has to be in the seventh house along with another malefic. Then there'll be a downfall in his business. So Mars can't be in another house and then he's getting an aspect or giving an aspect. That's not what Sage Parashara is saying. He's saying that if Rander's lord is Yuti with a malefic in the Yavati bhava, there will surely be a downfall in his business. Okay. And moving along, folks, for the ninth lord in the eighth bhava. The native will not be prosperous and will not enjoy happiness from his elder brother. So this again is saying that the native will not be prosperous and will not enjoy happiness from his elder brother. And moving for a 10th lord in the 9th bhava. One will be born of royal scion, will become a king. Whereas if he's an ordinary native, he will be equal to a king. This placement will confer wealth and progetic happiness, etc. If the 11th Lord is in the 10th bhava, which it will be for all of our Vrishabha, the native will be honored by the king, be virtuous, attached to his religion, intelligent, truthful, and will subdue his senses. And moving along, folks, for the 12th Lord in the 11th bhava, the native will incur losses, be brought up by others, and will sometimes gain through others. And finally, with our Vrishabha, the first Lord will come into the 12th bhava. If this is devoid of a benefic drishti and or yuti, the native will be bereft of physical happiness, will spend unfruitfully, and be given to much anger. So, first of all, I want to stress that this word given too much anger is just one O in that too. So it's given too much anger, but too much, I don't know. It's just much anger. That's what I know. So, and again, I want to remind you folks that if this house is devoid of a benefic aspect and or conjunction, so you can have a benefic conjunction or an aspect, and then you will be saved from the berefting of physical happiness and spending unfruitfully and given to much anger. So Sage Parashara is saying, if this is devoid of a benefic drishti and or yuti, the native will be bereft of physical happiness, will spend unfruitfully, and be given to much anger. Well, folks, there you have it. And I hope that this blueprint will help you in the future. And I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.